Welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the south. The guide dog owner who had a near miss with an e-scooter in Southampton. It's illegal to ride them on pavements, but many still do.
The dental students in Portsmouth helping homeless people with their teeth. Free treatment after years of pain.
How do you survive a shivery shipwreck?
And after almost 60 years on ITV, it's Fred's final day in the studio. Join us as we celebrate a remarkable broadcasting career with some lovely surprises on the way.
Good evening to you. A charity is calling on local authorities to do more to stop e-scooters being ridden illegally on our pavements. The appeal follows an incident in Southampton where a visually impaired woman says she was almost knocked over.
The only ones allowed to be used on public roads are those rented in official schemes underway nationwide at locations including Southampton, Portsmouth and the Isle of Wight. None are allowed on pavements. Here's Derek Johnson.
This shocking film shows what happens when someone riding an e-scooter hits a pedestrian at 15.5 miles an hour. This is the first crash testing of e-scooters, according to the charity Guide Dogs, which carried it out, proving it says these kind of crashes could kill people. Mandy Pike from Southampton is partially sighted. She was nearly hit by two e-scooters being ridden on the pavement, where she was walking with guide dog Fable.
They were moving so fast, it was quite scary. It definitely shocked me. And they were on either side of us, really quite close. They were moving at top speed. It's just another obstacle for us to worry about walking around on pavements and to worry about our safety and hers.
Mandy doesn't know if the e-scooters were private ones, in which case they were being ridden illegally, as right now they can only be used on private land with the owner's permission, or rental ones, which can be hired in Southampton as part of a UK trial scheme also taking place in Oxford and Portsmouth. In any case, they're not allowed on the pavement. Guide Dogs conducted this research because 15.5 miles an hour is the legal speed cap of government hire schemes. It wants to see more enforcement and more regulation ahead of any government plan to legalise this form of transport.
So we've heard from lots of blind and partially sighted people over the last year and a half who have real concerns about e-scooters and the impact it's having on people's independence and confidence on a pavement where they should feel safe. There's a great number of privately owned e-scooters out there which should not be used on public land.
In a statement, Southampton Council said private e-scooters remain illegal on public land and the police are stopping riders and confiscating vehicles across the city. The council continues to support Hampshire Constabulary in addressing the illegal use of private e-scooters around Southampton, and the deputy leader said work will continue to gather feedback for the city's e-scooter trial. Derek Johnson, ITV News.
A retirement complex in Bournemouth has been evacuated after a fire with 62 residents made to leave. 13 fire engines and more than 60 firefighters were sent to tackle the blaze in Poole Road. It started in the building's roof just after 7 o'clock this morning. There were no injuries.
The crews acted really quickly and were able to confine the fire to a small part of the building. We have what we call a predetermined attendance for this type of building, and given the occupancy of this building where they're elderly residents, some of them, we would have an increased attendance.
Homeless people suffering intense pain because of neglected teeth have been offered free treatment by student dentists.
The University of Portsmouth is believed to be the first to offer dental and eye care to homeless people, some of whom have spent years sleeping rough.
Gary Swain's been to the Dental Academy to find out more.
Tony's teeth are so neglected he cannot eat without pain. An X-ray at the University of Portsmouth Dental Academy reveals the shocking state of his mouth. After a decade of discomfort, students in their final year of degrees in dentistry, supervised by qualified staff, are volunteering their own time to help him.
I've been sleeping rough in Southampton, I've been sleeping rough in Portsmouth. For the last 10 years I've found it really uncomfortable to eat almost anything.
What are you hoping they can do for you?
Just sort my mouth out so I can eat a carrot, I can eat nuts.
Barry Wilson has also been sleeping rough. one of 40 homeless people to receive free dental care. So I can see that you've got some teeth missing. Tell me how that's happened.
Fights, neglect, drug abuse. Now I'm in sobriety. I feel a lot better physically, mentally, spiritually. Without no teeth, my mental health plays up.
So you're hoping they'll give you some dentures?
Yeah. My smile getting better. Yeah.
For a case like that would require dentures, potentially extractions, new fillings, we can do that all under one roof. It will just take us some appointments, but we're determined to get these patients to be as healthy and as comfortable as they can be.
Everyone deserves to be out of pain and to be able to eat and drink normally. It's not really fair, so I think regardless of the state that they're in or their living situations, they should be entitled to dental care.
4 sessions of dental care have come to an end, but Portsmouth University says there's a need to continue helping more than 100 homeless people, some enduring daily pain.
All I want for Christmas is my teeth, yeah.
Kerry Swain, ITV News.
What a great job they're doing. Well done. In sport, Southampton's match at home to Brentford this weekend is in doubt after the visitors announced 13 players and staff have tested positive for COVID. Last night, the Saints picked up a useful point at Crystal Palace. 2 great goals from James Ward-Prowse and Armando Broja, putting them in front, but a hard-fought second half saw them having to settle for a draw.
Brighton and Hove Albion's match at Manchester United this weekend has been postponed due to a COVID outbreak at Old Trafford last night. Brighton lost at home to Wolves, having had their application for a postponement rejected despite having 3 or 4 players testing positive. The defeat means Albion have now gone 11 games without a win. You're watching ITV News in the Meridian region. Coming up, your sport and weather with a difference plus.
All you do is you get hold of your collar.
And that's how for now. Yes, this is Fred's last show and we won't let him go without celebrating 60 years of his best bits in broadcasting.
Were there any? And you can find today's top stories on our website, itv.com/Meridian. Call us please on 0808 1010 095. And remember, you can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.
Fred, I hate to break this to you, but everything that you think is going to happen in the show from now on isn't.
You're joking.
Because this is your last day at ITV News Meridian.
Yes.
So we thought we'll have a few lovely surprises and celebrate a great broadcasting career. So the rest of the show is dedicated to you.
But I'd learnt all these weeks.
Don't worry about that. All your friends, your colleagues, all of our wonderful viewers want to take a trip down memory lane. So let's do that.
Thank you.
Fred, you are the friendly face that we all grew up with. The man who showed us how.
Should float without any problem at all.
It didn't always quite go to plan, but your sense of humour and ability to tell a story kept us all captivated.
When they saw this, stay on there.
As someone who grew up in East Sussex, you are an absolute living legend.
He could read the phone book and you'd want to stay with him all the way from Alpha to Zeta. You know, he just has this natural warmth.
It is your warmth and your ability to relate to everyone that meant you outlasted every other presenter, being part of How from 1966 to the present day. You were also a firm favourite on Tiswas.
The first time we really met properly, I covered you from head to toe in custard. And even then, just the top of your head was sort of glinting in the light. You are an amazing guy. I do not know how you kept going so long. And you have been consistently so sickeningly good.
Your skill as a broadcaster means you could span so many genres, moving with ease between children's TV, sport.
Good afternoon to you. A very warm, indeed hot welcome to what promises to be an extremely fast-moving edition of World of Sport.
and news.
The Queen Mary will begin her final transatlantic crossing from Southampton to New York.
In 1984, you began as the main presenter for TVS. Coast to Coast was a ratings winner with Fern Britton by your side.
7 years we spent together, didn't we? And that was a very happy time. We had such laughs and such fun. And you taught me a great deal as well.
Since Fern, there have been many other co-presenters, all with a story to tell.
I'll never forget my first day. He took me down the corridor and he held my hand and he said, Tish Tosh, that was his name for me. No one else has ever called me that. Tish Tosh, you and me are going to be best friends. I'm going to look after you and you're going to look after me. And he really did. He just took me under his wing and he taught me everything. He was my first on-screen husband and he was just the most perfect gentleman.
Debbie Thrower was one of your longest partnerships, lasting 16 years.
Look at the way that Fred has remained friends with all the female presenters that he's worked alongside. I think that speaks volumes. Yes, he is a very generous presenter. He did share the limelight very happily.
And you were still in a very happy partnership until this day. Sangeeta joining you on the sofa back in 2009. But it wasn't just your relationship with your co-presenters that was so strong. It was your connection with the audience. You were always happiest out on the road interacting with viewers. The annual Sandcastle competition attracted thousands to the South Speeches.
Blow that hooter!
Over the past 58 years, you have interviewed so many well-known faces, everyone from the Beatles to Dame Vera Lynn, and you have charmed them all.
I'm going to kiss you, may I?
You may.
Oh, God bless you.
You may.
You've made an old man very happy.
Oh, you don't look old, let me tell you.
Stop it.
No, you look very good.
It's great to see you again.
And somehow you persuade even the most reluctant of performers.
Doe. A deer, a female deer, a ray, a drop of golden sun.
Are you having me on?
No.
Oh, I see, okay.
But you are never starstruck, equally as happy just chatting to children.
So who did this one?
Me.
That is a big baby.
Your sense of humour is legendary. You're always willing to give anything a go.
I'm never doing this again!
See you later.
There are so many memories, so many moving moments.
She said, the man from How? And I desperately wanted to say, and do you watch Meridian tonight as well? But my courage failed me. And instead I found myself blubbering, I'm just so honoured to meet you, which I was.
You have presented every major news story for more than 5 decades. Through the good times and the bad, you have always been there, a constant for us all. Who else has such a long and varied career?
I can't think of anybody. Possibly David Attenborough, but the only other one who spanned so many generations of television audiences. That's an extraordinary and unique achievement because he's a unique individual.
Unique, brilliant, and loved by us all.
You okay?
Unbelievable.
Fred, you have been on television 58, almost 40 with ITV. Do you like what you do?
Oh, God, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, I started with a 7-week contract for Southern Television on a children's magazine programme. 7 weeks. 58 years later, I'm still here. How did that happen?
But it has been a remarkable career. 60 years, all those stories that I saw in there. You know, the people that you've met, amazing.
Oh, I've just been so lucky. I've met memorable people, brave people, you know, lovely people, you know. I've worked with some lovely people as well.
Well, you've got every reason to be very proud.
Thank you very much indeed.
Another special message now. This one from a regular viewer in Kent.
Hiya, Fred. You'll have to excuse the way I'm dressed because I've just got a part-time job in the grotto, you know, tied me over Christmas. But I just want to wish you all the very best and let you know how bereft I am, Fred, je suis désolé, that you are leaving Meridian tonight. Fred, you're a broadcasting legend and I've watched you on the telly since since we were both quite young, put it that way. Anyway, all the best, look after yourself and put your feet up. Happy Christmas, Fred. And you, Sangeeta. Ta-ra. Will you get in the line, please, and shut up?
Thanks to Paul and everybody else.
So many messages. Piers Morgan, Kate Garraway, Michael Ball, Alfie Bow, Alan Titchmarsh. You'll love this one. Tim Peake, the astronaut who absolutely loves you. We'll look at those later. They're all going to be on our website.
Incredible. Can I just say to everybody, thank you so much. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, shall we do some sport now? That's comfortable territory for you, because I'm rubbish at sport. We've got Sarah Gom and Andrew Payton. We've all been PCR tested, just so everybody knows.
Yes. Of course, Fred, we all love talking about sport, don't we? All of us, all of the time, whenever we can.
Yeah, we know more than most, don't we, Andrew, that Fred loves little more than a bit of friendly banter about the beautiful game, often at our expense, I have to say.
Well, and Pompey, of course. Pompey going to go through the whole season unbeaten.
Yes.
You say it every year.
I do, yes. And one of these days it's going to happen, isn't it?
Of course.
Well, with that in mind, Fred, we've got a little piece that we filmed recently to show you now, which, of course, you knew nothing about.
No, I didn't know anything about anything.
We've come to a place very close to your heart, Fred.
A place you first fell in love with as a schoolboy during family holidays to Southsea.
And when your television career took off, you became a director here.
But as much as you love Portsmouth Football Club, it's clear everyone here loves you.
Working alongside manager Harry Redknapp and owner Milan Mandaric, Pompey won promotion to the Premier League and the FA Cup.
Happy days for the club, yourself, Fred, and Harry.
Well, we had some great times at Pompey, Fred. I think I was your chauffeur, actually, you and Milan. I went there as director of football that first year, and I don't really know what I was doing there, except sort of driving you and Milan to the games, up to Sheffield, up to Barnsley. But we had great times, great chats, good laugh. People always ask me where you had your best times, and I would put Portsmouth right up there as probably the best time and most enjoyable time. And being around you and Milan and the rest of the guys was great for me.
Fred started his TV career as a sports presenter.
In the 70s and 80s, that meant reporting on the success of Southampton Football Club under manager Laurie McMenemy.
Though that didn't always go smoothly.
Welcome to you. On South Sport tonight, how the Saints, complete with Kevin Keegan, got the new league season off to a dramatic winning start. And we've got the Meister himself, Laurie McMenemy. Oh, what a pillock.
Oh, what a pillock.
You're a living legend on TV. You and me go way back to when we were both in the north, and you did all sport and that up there. And you have worked so hard and become so popular. And I think not just the viewers will miss you, Fred, but the people that you've worked with and helped over the years. So good luck with whatever you're doing, Fred. And one day soon, I'll get you a ticket to come to St Mary's. Bye.
Fred was a talented player growing up.
Though his trial with Aston Villa did end with him scoring an own goal.
But football's loss was TV's gain.
So Sarah and I went to find out what you, our viewers, had to say to him.
Thank you for giving us good news since I was a little girl and talking about football and that. Every night we turn our telly on and we have a lovely smile. We're going to miss you.
Got a bit of a sense of humour there that makes things a bit more cheerful sometimes when they're not so cheerful. And he's great, isn't he?
I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
I've seen him out and about, and yes, Fred, I have seen you in your slippers going into the co-op. So yeah, no, it'd be sad. So good luck, Fred.
We will miss you. I've been watching you since I was a little girl, so good luck, Fred. Yeah. Here's to the future.
And Fred, hopefully that will mean you can visit your favourite Italian restaurant a bit more.
Your old pal Giuseppe certainly hopes so.
To me, he's a friend. He's nearly part of the family because I know him so long, over 40 years, He's a very fantastic man. It's nothing too much for him, Many times people come, oh, hello, I can have a photo. He never said no. Always have the smile, He's very, he's unique.
Whether it's on screen, in the newsroom, or out and about.
Fred loves nothing more than chatting football.
I must be the only political correspondent who prepares for a Live on the Green by checking Portsmouth's latest score and checking the odds if Portsmouth are playing Blackpool. I really miss those bets, particularly the odd occasion when Fred's had to reach into his wallet for one of his old white fivers. But most of all, I'll miss working with one of the greatest and nicest broadcasters there's ever been.
Fred, whether it's your colleagues, our viewers, or your football club.
We all agree you're the best.
Oh, guys, thank you very much. And I'm just overwhelmed, to be honest.
And Fred, that was the message we were getting again and again, wasn't it?
It really was, wasn't it? Yeah, the message very much that you're not just a TV presenter, but you're a friend.
That's so kind, and can I just say thank you to everybody who's taken part in all this. I can't believe it. I thought we were doing a serious second half of the programme. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much.
We can do that at 10:30 if you want. You know, there's no news, Fred. Thank you, Sarah and Andrew. So, Fred, you might be leaving us, but this is not retirement.
No, I'm going to still be working. I can never retire. I'm going to do some crime for another channel. How for ITV, which should be back in the new year. I'm doing a book as well.
A book.
So I've got a few projects on, but you know, I want to spend more time at home with Bev and smelling the roses a little bit, but you know, walking the dogs and walking the mountains hopefully as well,
Okay.
COVID permitting.
COVID permitting. Ready for another surprise now?
Oh gosh.
This one, my darling, is from me.
Oh.
Fred, I've got something really special for you now because I'm with a group of people who are very close to your heart.
Hi, Bhabra.
Caroline, Fred has been on our screens for nearly 60 years. That is such a long time. Do you remember the first moment that you thought, oh, Dad's famous?
I don't really, because I've never known anything different. I've always known my dad be on telly. I suppose when I was quite little, it gradually dawned on me that not everybody's dad did such a crazy kind of job. So he was doing How, and he'd come home with some of the experiments to practice, and Auntie Bunty, who was one of his co-presenters, used to come and stay with us. And gradually, I think it dawned on me that that wasn't a sort of normal job that everyone else's dad did.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, much the same. Growing up, anywhere we went, people would come up and say, Freddie or How. They just love him, and it's just that really came across. So it just became part of growing up, really.
Emily, when did you realise that your granddad or your papa was famous?
It was probably when I was about 5 or 6, because obviously Mummy and Daddy were watching TV and him, so me and Josh sometimes go up to the screen and pretend to hug him.
And so you are Fred Dinenage too, aren't you?
Yeah, basically.
So you planning to screen test and come and sit next to me?
Maybe one day, yeah.
Can I say one thing about your granddad? You're never bored when he's around. He's always got a story, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got so many stories, tells me so many funny jokes. He drives me to school sometimes and he tells me all the stories that he's had from his career and all the funny stuff that he comes up with. And yeah, I just enjoy talking to him all the time.
Join us in a couple of minutes.
The thing the viewers see is very much the real dad, right? There's very little difference to him. He's very genuine. He's incredibly mischievous. There's a lot of naughtiness that goes on, and that's been throughout our lives. When I was 6, on my 6th birthday party, we were playing Pass the Parcel. He came out with this gigantic parcel. We started passing it round. It got smaller and smaller, and we got to the end, and inside was a matchbox which had a polo mint in it, just because he thought that was the most hysterical thing to see the faces of these 6-year-olds do this. Then he actually came out with the real prize, of course, but it was a life full of mischief and naughtiness and fun.
Oh no, he is absolutely brilliant. Have you got kind of a standout memory, Chris?
Yeah, well, my standout one was, I think Mum was making lunch. Dad said, I'll take the kids out down to the seaside, down to Southsea. And he just was pretending to throw me into the sea and then just slipped and I actually fell into the sea. I think it was like a January freezing cold day. So I was soaking wet. And the problem is my dad's very particular about his cars. So he wouldn't let me get into the car soaking wet. So he had to put newspaper down and put me on the newspaper to drive me home. So that kind of sticks in my memory.
Yes. He's lucky he didn't make the headlines that day.
Good evening to you.
Every single day he comes in, he wants to know what's going on and what he's doing, and where does that all come from? This passion and drive?
Yeah.
And
committed. He has got that drive that just spurs him on to want to be the best. Having a dad like I have, it's made me want to be a better father for my children.
He's just one of the best men that I've ever known.
Do you feel lucky to have him as your papa?
Very lucky.
Oh, that's lovely. I think there's only one way to end this interview, isn't it?
Okay, shall we? And that's
How for Now.
He's going to hate that.
My wonderful family, I'll never trust any of them ever again.
Yeah.
How did you do that without me knowing?
Well, you were on late news, fortunately, so I popped over. I came into the studio, said it went brilliantly. They've been sending me pictures all the time, checking that I'm okay, checking you're okay.
Unbelievable.
They're a beautiful family, Fred. You must be so proud of them as well.
I'm so proud of my children, my grandchildren. I've just been so lucky, you know.
You have been lucky, and we're really lucky now because Pip is with us. Now, Holly wanted to be here today, but unfortunately, she is genuinely under the weather. So, Pip.
Yeah, I'm representing us both. Now, I'll let you in on the White Christmas intel after the show, but for now, Fred, I just have to say what an absolute privilege it has been to work with you. Not only are you just fantastic at what you do, but you are a lovely, lovely man. Not only that, you make my job so much fun. Of course, I'm just one in a long line of weather presenters who've crossed your path over the decades, and there are a few more who'd like to say a little something.
Wow.
Singing in the Rain was on at the Mayflower, and Fred said, look, we're going to put Singing in the Rain on for 30 seconds. I want you to do a little dance, and when you've done a little dance, do your weather. Beautiful evening. Okay, I said, Fred. Music started, I started my dance, and it started to rain. I looked at Fred, he had a big smile on his face, a horse pipe in his hand, and he was pouring water up all over the top of me.
I treasure the memories of our evenings together on Meridian tonight, but there's one evening that I'm still trying to forget. The Battle of Trafalgar. Storms were forecast, but we decided to risk it and go live. My goodness, we took a beating. It's times like those that bring people together. I'm sure you'll continue to do some special projects, but you'll have time enough to visit us here in Australia, where there's a very warm welcome waiting.
When I first joined Meridian all those years ago, to be told you're going to be sharing a dressing room with another children's TV legend, well, I imagine you found it quite hard. But we got on great and it was all lovely. As you know, with the weather, I was often out on location. My hair would look terrible. The wind would be blowing it all over the place. And I said to you, Fred, what can I do? And your many years of experience brought back a story when you, in your haste, had gone to grab the hairspray and unfortunately grabbed a can of spray varnish. You said your hair didn't move for 3 weeks. Well, it's a good plan and I'm sticking to it myself at the minute too. But listen, it's been lovely spending time with you. I loved working with you and I wish you all the very best. Good luck, Fred.
Amazing, thank you.
Oh, well, you know there is just one thing left for you to do, Fred.
Yeah, here she is, the one and only Philippa Drew with your weather forecast, I think.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
All looking very quiet weather-wise then over the next few days. Lots of cloud, but the emphasis on dry conditions. It will also be turning a little bit colder as the days go by. Out there at the moment then, lots of cloud on the scene. Where we do have any limited breaks overnight, we could see a bit of mist and murk developing. And for all of us, it will be mild once again, lows of 7 or 8 Celsius by dawn. Tomorrow then, much the same as today for most of us. Still a lot of cloud, but mostly dry. The best chance of any bright spells coming through along the south coast, I think. Further north, perhaps a bit more low cloud, mist and fog encroaching during the day, but another mild one into double figures for some.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
And in just a moment, the ITV Evening News with Charlene White. Fred, I've said not much tonight, have I?
You've been amazing.
I've been amazing. I've been so quiet. I've loved our partnership and we are literally, I think, about 6 weeks off our 13th anniversary.
Well,
lucky for some.
Yeah, well, can I just say it has been a genuine joy to have worked with you and sat alongside you, and you are a really caring, lovely person. And I just want to say thank you to all of my colleagues, past and present. I've worked with some wonderful people. Most of all, and I've said it before, but I mean it, I want to thank all of our viewers for their incredible love and affection over all these years and all the hundreds of messages I've received. Thank you so, so, so much. I will be doing other things, but do look out for me in the street. Do walk up and say hello. And in the meantime, that from the old broadcaster is truly How for Now. Bye-bye.